What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It would be amazing if you did that. It would make my absolute day. It would make my week if you hit that subscribe button. It would mean even more to me if you hit that like button. But anyway, we're here for a formation. Now, I wanted to do like how can I describe it? I wanted to do like a 3-4-3 formation, but the problem is with this 3-4-3 formation you see in front of you is it requires LMs and RMs, and what I'm really looking for is left wing back and some right wing backs. And the reason I'm looking for that is because in defence, because what you'll struggle with this particular formation you see in front of you, the 3-4-3, is the element RM will not really defend that much, which leaves you kind of isolated with three centre backs. And I wanted a little bit more security than that, so I have created a 3-4-3 formation. And I'm going to show you guys how I've created this 3-4-3 formation. I'm also going to show you how this 3-4-3 works in game. However, it's really good. So ignore what you see in front of you. Let me go to what I've actually done, and it is this one here. So we are going to start off in a 5-2-3 formation. And it is a banned formation in esports, so what that means is you can't use this if you're playing in tournaments and stuff like that. The EA have created, they don't let you play the 3 at the backs, they don't let you play the 5 at the backs. That is what is a banned formation. However, we can use this in rivals, we can use this in foot champs, we can use this to our heart's content with no repercussions at all. However, I have managed to build a 5-2-3 that plays like a 3-4-3. Now, if you follow Ruben Amorim, for example, at Manchester United, you will see he likes his 3-4-3 formation. However, when he defends, he likes to defend with a 5-back. And that is what you get in this formation. You get a 5-back defence, but you get the added bonus of having a 3-4-3. And I don't know how many times I've mentioned the 3-4-3 now, but I'm not going to mention it anymore because you guys are probably bored of that. So let me show you quickly how I've got this set up, and then we'll jump in and I'll show you how this plays in game. So we're just going to use this as a 5-2-3 balanced with a high defensive approach. The reason we're using a high defensive approach and not an aggressive version is because we don't want to be caught out if we do lose the ball. If we lose the ball, we don't want to be countered. So with the added protection of just sitting a little bit deeper than we normally would, however, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Let me drop in the gameplay. I will show you the goals that I've scored with this and how it plays. And then, of course, as always, we'll come back to the end of this video and I'll show you exactly how the player roles are set up. So, as always, I'm honest with you guys. You're going to concede goals in this game mode. It doesn't matter what you do, what you try, whether you use 5-back, 3-back, or 4-back, it doesn't matter. You're always going to concede goals. But again, as I always say, perseverance is key. It's how many goals you can score. And yes, you need a little bit of luck at that goal there, for example. But you get the kind of idea with this. So you can see there. There's 5 at the back, 2 in midfield, 3 upfield. You can see that my right back has bombed forward. We've lost the ball, but we have the cover. So we still have the added bonus of having that little bit of extra security there if we do lose the ball. But this is why we have the defensive approach set to 70. So for any higher, then you're going to struggle. And then from here, we race into a really quick 2-0 lead. And what I like so much about this formation is you have so many different variations of how you can use it. From previous patches and the way it's played before, you can be a little bit of an issue with it, but you can see here like the press, my opponent is trying to play it out from the back, and you can see we're using the front 3 players or the front 2 players to kind of press, using the second man press as well as pressing, and we nick the ball, we get a goal, 3-1. So just because you're using 5 in the back doesn't mean we're limited at front, it doesn't mean we're limited in midfield. Far from it, it's the opposite. And you can see here we've got the left back bombing forward, he gets the ball to the striker, and that cutback, just missed out on that cutback there, but we've not finished there. As you can see, the 2-man midfield is doing what it should be doing. We nick the ball back really high up in the pitch, and you can see, look at the left back bombing forward again, and he's not even set to attack. That's the crazy thing. And then we get a nice, another easy goal, if you like, 4-2 up. The rest is history for this particular setup. Just show you a few more game clips just so you get a good idea of how this works. Now, we were a little bit lucky there, but that's why we have the keeper set to sweep the keeper. so we can mop up anything that we don't manage to get hold of. But this is where it comes into its own, and it's the counter attack. And you can see here he's limited defenders, and we managed to get a nice little counter going. 1-0, and unfortunately the guy quits, which happens a lot when you use 5-back formations because they are very difficult to break down. And unless you're coming up against a really skillful, good opponent, it's very difficult. But things like here, look at the player, he's playing in the pocket, nobody picks him up, AI doesn't pick him up, opponent doesn't pick him up. Now we've got a nice little dink ball over the top for a 1-0 from Gareth Bale. And then here you can see how high up our opponent is. He's really pressing me with this 4-2-1-3 formation. And again, the way we have this set up, we can play around with this formation. We don't have to bomb forward. We can do short passing. We can do long passing, and we're just pulling players out of position everywhere. And look at this! We've just literally demolished his formation right there with just a few passes, and then before you know it, he loses the ball. We're back on the counter. Another perfect example of playing in the pocket with this formation, and we make it 2-0. And we were under a lot of pressure with this opponent. He was really, really good. The pressure he put on me, not sure how he was pressuring me the way he was, but it was really, really solid pressure. Yeah, I don't want to say I was lucky, but yeah, we had a good fortune in this game. And again here, Daniel Marlin, what a shot from outside of the box. Oh, this formation, love it. Let me show you how I have it set up. So you can see we're still coming up against the 4-2-1-3 users, which is a little bit strange now because the formation is a little bit dated, especially with the latest patches and stuff. So yeah, I kind of wanted to prove that we were still playing against those type of players and beating them, which is the main thing. Now you can see without the ball, it is a standard 5-2-3 formation, but this is where it gets interesting. If we put the left back and right back on attacking wing backs and on balanced, if we have one CDM, if you like, a true CDM doing the deep laying playmaker, we have a box to box midfielder, of course we do. Now we have to have the left wing and right wing on inside forwards and balanced. If they're not on inside forwards, then the left back, the right back, the right wing, the left wing for example, will be occupying the same space. We don't want them to do that, and then the advanced forward on your attack, or you can have poacher. It's up to you. And it looks like this when you have the ball, which is what we wanted, is a 3-4-3 formation. That is what we want, that is what it looks like, and that is it's a nice formation. It works extremely well, especially in the higher divisions, Division 1, elite rivals, especially in foot champs. It works so well. Look at how that is just, yeah, that is a natural 3-4-3. That is how a 3-4-3 should look, with the left wing back and the right wing back, for example. So we go from this formation instantly to that formation, and your opponent is suffocated. They don't know what the hell they're doing. There is your code, guys. Pop that in. Give this one a try. If you're not a fan of the 5-backs, I'm not personally a fan of the 5-backs, but I think sometimes we just have to try these things. And although it is a 5-back formation, it doesn't play that way, and that is where your opponents are going to be shocked. So yeah, give that one a go. Definitely subscribe if you like what you see. Hit that thumbs up button as well if this is one of your go-to formations. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and until next time, everybody, take care and look after themselves.